What's up, everybody? Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta talk about maybe a little bit of a controversial topic, but definitely one that's on everyone's mind, is what happens to Sinatraa, because his ban is basically about to be lifted. And we're gonna be breaking down the entire story, give a quick summary, and then talk about what happens next. But go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for tons of high quality guides, tips and tricks, VOD reviews. We got everything that you need on the GameLeap website to dominate in Act 2, so go check it out right now. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, Sinatraa was an all-star on one of the best NA teams, period, in Sentinels, a team that you may or may not have heard of. But after some statements made by Sinatraa's ex-girlfriend, and not just accusations, but full-on receipts and everything with audio, Sinatraa was basically accused of sexual assault, among other things, and this was just the biggest story at the time. Now, Sinatraa at the time initially claimed to fully cooperate with Riot, gonna give them the full audio so that everything could be kind of basically solved, because he claimed that he didn't do anything wrong. Well, either the audio was lost or he showed it to his lawyers and they were like, nah, don't show that, it makes you look bad. So whatever reason, Sinatraa did not fully cooperate with Riot, and as a result, Riot banned him from competitive play for 6 months. Now, I want to be really clear here, just because he didn't show the video, this does not prove guilt, because there could be a number of reasons why he didn't want to show the video, or his lawyers didn't. But it definitely didn't look great at the time, and it still doesn't. And maybe he remembered it differently. Certain veils, people remember certain events differently, look at a recording and realize it's not so great, or they remembered this situation far differently than what the evidence suggests. So I'm not pretending to know or anything like that. I just want to lay out the information and then the fact that Riot suspended Sinatraa 1 for 6 months under this investigation. Now, in the meantime, a lot of things happened. Cleo, his ex-girlfriend, basically dropped proceeding with the investigation due to a number of different factors, difficulty, drama in her life because of this, and basically the pursuit of Sinatraa legally is not really happening much at this point, as far as I understand it. Now, since then, Sinatraa also issued a public apology, admitted he viewed the entire relationship through a different lens, and returned to streaming. I know I'm like really jumping through a lot of things here, but I'm really not trying to make this an entire video of things that have been covered over and over again. Now, flash forward to today, Sinatraa's competitive ban with Riot is going to be ending in September, and this is something that's really important because Sinatraa has said many times that he wants to / will return to competitive play. Now, as for Sinatraa in the eyes legally, I mean, he's in a state of limbo, right? There's always this innocent to proven guilty, and there's just not enough legal proof nor pursuit to prove without a shadow of a doubt that he's guilty, especially in the eyes of the law. However, regardless of like guilty legally, he has this huge stain on him that won't go away, this air of uncertainty, which is undoubtedly going to affect any chances of him potentially trying to return to pro. Now, a lot of people want to ask about Sentinels and Sinatraa returning to Sentinels. Well, on stream, Sentinels Shazam has said that the new roster with 10s is the effective roster. That is the roster, that's the main roster, and essentially he's saying that there is no room for Sinatraa, at least on the main. And honestly, based on how he said it, it basically doesn't seem like there's a place for Sinatraa on the team. Now, Sinatraa and Shazam are definitely good friends, so this is no slight against Sinatraa by Shazam. But you gotta understand that Sentinels is the best team in the world right now, and it's not even freaking close. And 10s is undoubtedly top 3 players in the world. Some people even consider him the best player in the world. And there's just no room for Sinatraa. They paid a giant check for 10s. Why in the world would they want to change anything when they're already the best? It just doesn't make any sense. The org wouldn't be for it, the team wouldn't want it, 10s definitely wouldn't want it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all to bring Sinatraa back on board. If maybe Sentinels was like doing really terrible, maybe you could make an argument, but in their current state, it doesn't matter if it was Jesus fucking Christ himself. No one would replace 10s for his starting spot. It's just not gonna happen. Now, the next question comes up, who else would sign Sinatraa? If Sinatraa wants to return to pro play and he's in this weird state of limbo, but he's not banned competitively, is there any team that would want to sign him? And a lot of people bring up TSM. Now, here's the thing. No matter how much Sub Rosa kind of memes that you know, Sinatraa would be a good TSM component. The thing is, I highly doubt that this will ever happen for many reasons. For one, Myth has been very vocal anti-Sinatraa on Twitter, and Myth is like the golden boy for TSM. Not to mention Myth and Dufran's drama that has been ongoing with Dufran actively supporting Sinatraa and also just kind of trolling. I mean, there's just a lot here that just wouldn't really make sense. And then you got to understand that just in general, most tier 1 teams would be hesitant or very hesitant to bring someone like Sinatraa on. Like I said, he's in this state of limbo where he's kind of like a flight risk. He's someone that is not definitively guilty, but he's definitely not 100% innocent, especially in the eyes of everyone and the community, and that will never change. And any tier 1 org that signs on Sinatraa actually risks putting their name in that conversation with everything that Sinatraa is accused of, and it's definitely a very risky thing. Even if at the end of the day, nothing happens further and everything goes kind of back to normal, there's still this dark cloud that will just always like follow Sinatraa wherever he goes and whatever org he goes to. Even the crypto scamming phase would probably not pick up Sinatraa if I'm being honest. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, Sinatraa is not just skilled. He has a super loyal fan base, for better or for worse, depending on your point of view. This is something that is undoubtedly true. There are so many hashtag free Sinatras, and just as many people hate Sinatraa as they freaking love him. And because of this entire situation, his fan base, the fan base that still exists, has gotten even more loyal to Sinatraa. Now, what this means is that a tier 2 team could potentially take the gamble on Sinatraa, even if they are risking a potential blowback and drama resurgence because of his name recognition, and that rapid support could fold over to their org, and all of the very loyal Sinatraa fans could become that org's very loyal fans. And that's a risk that a tier 2 team that is kind of struggling to even exist or really is trying to take over against some of these upper tier, upper echelon orgs, they definitely would think long and hard about that possibility, even if it is very risky to do. Now, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to Sinatraa if he's willing to slug it out and become a difference maker at a bottom tier team rather than just slotting in on a really good team that already exists. I mean, here's the thing though. Look at how TENS did little to nothing to change C9's fate on that roster. Just thinking that you could just walk onto a bad team and just be the change that that team needs, it's going to be pretty difficult to do. And one man can only do so much no matter how good he is at Valorant, if I'm being honest. But I really want to pass the question on to you. What do you think is going to happen to Sinatraa? Do you think he's going to chase the path to pro? Do you really think that a tier 1 team would pick him up? And if a tier 2 team did, what team would you think would best fit Sinatraa? And then how do you feel about this entire thing? Are you a fan of Sinatraa? Do you hate Sinatraa? What is your opinion about everything? I really want to know. I want to pick your brain. But definitely go to the GameLeap website if you want to set yourself up to dominate Act 2, get away from all this BS and get back to the grinding. But thank you so much for coming by. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I love your faces, and I'll see you next time.